Test, test.
Eddie, test 1, 2, 3.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
That's the way I felt. Ben,
Yes.
we're 40 years younger, I'd be on a plane.
Okay. Going where?
Offer my services, but we're
Yeah.
40 years ago, 50 years ago. Now, what do you think I would do? Walk 2 blocks and say, wait, where's the couch?
No.
I'd be more of a hindrance than anything else.
Right.
Are they gonna be disappointed? I told the police chief. 2 items, one, at that time, 1 item on the agenda. I said, no pizza for 1
Heather,
item.
can you hear me?
3 copies.
Yes, Mayor, we can.
Get it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next. The regular meeting in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Regular meeting for 2 weeks. Right.
That's something you can carry on after I'm gone. For 20, I go to Nick's and they deliver it at 7 o'clock over here. I stop at Nick's
Okay.
and they're very appreciative.
Okay.
And sometimes when there's only 1 or 2 cars, the staff gets to eat because it's 8 slices.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, the city manager 2 weeks ago had a slice. So.
Okay.
Earlier, so I get.
Hi, Dan. Is Bill on? Good. Oh, I shouldn't get on. Let's get on myself.
All right, are we ready?
I don't know. Are we ready?
Yes, Mayor, we're ready.
All right, sounds good. I'd like to call to order the the special city commission meeting here tonight for November 1st, 2023 at 7 p.m. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Here via Zoom.
Commissioner Hudak,
Here.
Commissioner Preston,
Here.
Vice Mayor Parnas,
Here.
Mayor Gans.
Here via Zoom as well. If we could please have a moment of silence in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have approval of the agenda for November 1st, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Preston, second by Vice Mayor Parnas. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Madam Clerk?
For those attending Zoom online wishing to speak under public comment or on an item that's open for public input, please click raise hand at the bottom under the reactions tab and your audio will be unmuted when you are recognized by Mayor Gans. For those attending via Zoom by telephone, please press *9 to raise your hand and your audio will be unmuted when you are recognized by Mayor Gans. Please make sure your audio is unmuted on your end by pressing *6. Thank you.
Okay, the first item on tonight's agenda is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, adopting an amendment to the city budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023, approving various departmental budget transfers within the general fund as set forth in Exhibit A, approving supplemental appropriations to the Building Services Fund in the amount of $411,384, the Home Investment Partnership Program Fund in the amount of $140,540, and the State Housing Initiative Program Fund in the amount of $230,559, and reducing appropriations to the Community Development Block Grant Fund by $116,199 as set forth in Exhibit A, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date. This is first reading.
Thank you, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, City Commission. Dave Santucci, City Manager. I first want to thank the Commission for holding this special meeting for this item. The reason why we're holding this special meeting is because by state statute, the City of Deerfield Beach has to do a end of year budget amendment if we have one within 60 days of the close of the fiscal year, which for us would be the deadline of November 30th. But that's only having one official meeting in November. I had asked for this meeting so that we can do the budget amendment on first reading tonight, with the second reading being on November 14th. Unfortunately, October really was not a good timing for us to put together this final budget amendment with the fiscal year ending on September 30th. We needed about this much time to compile all the information, close out the book, so on and so forth. Having discussed this item with each of you individually, I will go through it briefly for you once again. But the purpose for this end of year adjustment is because we needed to do some adjustments within the general fund, not the overall general fund itself. The general fund was within budget as we provided back, obviously, within in course of the fiscal year. But within the general fund, there were some additional requirements in some departments. There were some savings in other departments, and through the vacancy credit in which we did budget for, which is they're labeled as additional considerations, we were able to balance the budget accordingly based off of some of the individual overages and or shortages, as I mentioned, in each department. That's the general fund. So that the overall budget within the general fund remained unchanged at $1,339,917,315. Excuse me. Within the building fund, and this is one of the reasons why this is an ordinance reading rather than a resolution reading, the building fund is increasing, and that's because the building fund actually outpaced what we budgeted, meaning that there was more building activity and revenue brought in than we anticipated, which is frankly a good thing. We actually saw approximately it's $411,384 more in the building fund than we originally anticipated. And again, that is because of the building activity outpacing what we budgeted. The last part of the budget amendment has to do with our CDBG, SHIP, and home funds. Now, these are the funds that we receive from the state and the federal government for our housing programs. And throughout the course of the year, we received more money in each one of these funds, except for the community development block grant. Excuse me, we received about $116,000 less than what we anticipated. But in the home fund, the SHIP fund, we received $230,559 more, and in the home fund, we received $140,540 more. So there were increases there just based off the amount of grant funds that we received for each one of those. That is really the gist of this budget amendment. I understand it's a very short item, but a necessary one in order to comply with the state law. And I'm happy to address any questions that you have, as well as the CFO who's here tonight too.
Thank you. Commissioner, any questions? Not seeing any. Is there anyone from the public that would care to comment on this item?
Ma'am.
Go up to the mic. You have to give your name and address for the record.
Okay, my name is Elisa Nevishin. I live at 911 Southwest 12th Court here in Deerfield Beach. I'd like to know where the surplus of the funds, these grants, how are they going to be distributed through the Deerfield Beach community?
Thank you. We're going to answer your question. Anyone else from the public?
No, Mayor.
I'm going to close it to the public then. City Manager, can you address that question?
Sure. So those funds have very specific uses that we must use them for. And there's various programs that the City Commission approved for CDBG, SHIP, and home. For instance, first-time home buyer programs, home rehabilitation programs, community bus shuttle services. So with the additional funds, we just provide more programming within the programming that has been approved by either the state or the federal government. Happy to speak to the resident after this and divert her to the resources to show her what programs we provide through these various grant funded programs.
Thank you. Commission, if there's any other further discussion, if not, we're looking for a motion.
Motion to approve. Second. My light's not on.
We have a motion from
Correct.
Vice Mayor. Do we have a second?
Yes, for myself.
Second from Commissioner Hudak. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parnas,
Yes.
Mayor Gans.
Yes.
Item 2 on tonight's agenda is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, supporting Israel and condemning the unprovoked, unjustified, and heinous acts of terrorism by Hamas in its war against Israel, condemning anti-Semitism, providing for an effective date.
Are there any comments from the commission, or is there any comments from the public?
Hello, my name is Paula Cook. I'm at 62 Centennial Court, and I'm in favor of the resolution. However, I would hope you would think about one small change in the wording. In the middle of the first paragraph, it says, the European Union have designated Hamas a terrorist organization because of its armed resistance against Israel. I would like to see and hope you might consider using a change where it says European Union have designated Hamas a terrorist organization because of its armed attacks against Israel. To use resistance is to use the Palestinian word. Everywhere on college campuses, and if you have any Arab friends who've been talking to you in the past, they call themselves freedom fighters. They call themselves resistance. Iran has just designated itself and 2 other countries they're using the title resistance. And to put that in here is to give the connotation that somehow they are resisting an evil empire. So if you would please think about changing that to attacks, it would still fit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. Is there any other comments from the public?
Daniel Shanetsky, 34 Keswick B, Century Village, Deerfield Beach, 33442. I'm in full support of this resolution. I know a lot of the people are saying that Israel should cease fire, should have a ceasefire. And well, during when America was attacked during 9/11, there was no ceasefire. We went after ISIS and we went after the terrorists that harmed our people in New York City on 9/11. We had a 20-year war going into Afghanistan, and we went after Iraq as well during this to go after them. So in destroying evil, and that's what Hamas is, there's no ceasefire. You must destroy it, or else like a cancer, it'll rise again. During World War II, my father was at Pearl Harbor during World War II. He survived it. But when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor during World War II, we didn't have a ceasefire. It took us almost 5 years to destroy the Imperial Japanese Empire that made war against America, and also Nazi Germany. When Nazi Germany during World War II, it took us also almost 4 or 5 years to destroy the evil Nazis in Germany. Unfortunately, civilians get affected as well. During World War II, I had an uncle that bombed the city of Dresden into till dust. And a lot of civilians were killed, but it was a necessary thing that we had to do. So I'm in full support of this resolution. And again, I feel that in destroying evil, which is what Hamas and terrorism is, you have to destroy it fully, or else like a cancer, it'll grow again.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public?
Mayor Richard Rosenzweig's on Zoom.
Okay.
Good evening.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Richard Rosenzweig, 95-7 Farnham, Deerfield Beach. I agree with most of what has been said. However, I resent the fact that the first speaker announced that the Jews attacked and caused this result to start. Whereas it's the Hamas that attacked the Jewish people and the children and women and took hostages and refused to have any kind of a ceasefire of any kind at this point, continue to fight on. And the Jewish people do not believe in starting a fight. They fight back and then fight back like tigers. And once they're aroused, their temper will not settle until they receive the due that's due them, and until they receive the return the hostages and make restitution for their damages to Israel. And Israel will do the same in return, I'm sure. But the fact remains that the speaker accusing Israel and others of freedom fighters, these were not freedom fighters, these were assassins. And they created a Holocaust in Israel that hasn't happened since World War II. And so I appreciate this report from Ben Preston to the community, and hope the community understands that the Jewish people don't believe in fighting unless they're fought first, and they respond in time and in turn. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public?
No, Mayor, there's not.
Thank you. I'm going to close it to the public, but I do want to put on the record, I do not believe that that is what the first speaker originally said. I think there seemed to be a misunderstanding by the third speaker on what was said originally. With that, does anyone want to entertain the change that was suggested? Or do we move forward with this with a motion?
I would like to just move forward with the mayor. That would be my position. So I'll make the motion.
I'd like to speak before we approve of this, if I may. Mayor?
Mayor Vice Mayor Parnas would like to speak first.
Go ahead, Commissioner or Vice Mayor.
I'm a veteran. I served in West Germany during the 50s. My whole family fought fascism. My dad was with Patton. And we did a few nice things in the beginning. I remember my dad telling me that the captain went into town because the Burgermeister said there were no troops in the town, and my dad was the interpreter. And he told him, if there are any troops in the town, we'll give you 48 hours to get the civilians out, but we're coming in. And he swore there were no soldiers in that town. Captain said, I'll go look. Well, he got about 100 yards and they blew his Jeep up and he died. My father was supposed to be his driver, but broke a shoelace, and the captain told him, go find somebody's pair of boots where you can steal a shoelace. So my father would have died with him. Patton was so angry that he brought 50 tanks up and he leveled the town so there was not a stone standing. That's war and retaliation for evil. There was no need for the civilians to be hurt. They were going to be given time to get out. And they were lied to. My whole family fought in World War II. I even had an aunt that was in Eisenhower's headquarters as a WAC. When evil exists, it has to be stamped out, and war's not pretty. But there are rules. Hamas doesn't respect rules. Beheading children, raping women, killing parents in front of their children and children in front of parents. That is not in the rules of war. So I take them out of an army and I put them into a band of terrorists that need to be stamped out. Because there's no guarantee they won't do it again. They killed, what, 1,400 civilians in this first attack? Imagine that was Deerfield Beach. And 1,400 of our people were killed. No notice, no chance to get civilians out, just murder them. So I approve this resolution that we stand by Israel 100%. I'm going to take just a brief moment. In 1975, when I bought the apartment from my parents, I put a mezuzah on the door. For those of you that don't know, it's a little cylinder, about ½ inch wide and 4 inches long. And in it, it contains the 10 Commandments. Jewish people put it on their door to let everybody know the residents of this house believes in the 10 Commandments and follows them. And thinking about it today, I wish I was 40 years younger, because I would have been on a plane going to Israel to help them if I could in any way. So yes, I support this resolution because it's necessary. It's not just a nice thing to do. It's an important thing to do. Not because they're Jewish or because I'm Jewish, but because they are the only democracy in the Middle East. And they're our partner in democracy in the Middle East. And therefore, we need to support democracy all over this world. And Israel is only just one of that group. So yes, we must support them in every way we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Preston, seconded by Vice Mayor Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Preston, seconded by Vice Mayor Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for accommodating me. I'm hoping to keep you guys healthy tonight. So take care. Thank you.
Hope you feel better, Mayor.
Thank you.